Hi, I'm Laura Staley, and I'm back with another video about formatting in Excel. And so far, I've covered several topics, and they are very manual. And now I'm going to transition into showing you ways to format your spreadsheet that are more automatic, letting Excel do the heavy lifting. And the first one of those we're going to cover today is on conditional formatting. Now, what conditional formatting is where Excel will automatically format the data in your spreadsheet based on whatever criteria you set up. So let me give you an example. There was a woman I worked with once who kept a big spreadsheet of all of the equipment, computers, and stuff like that the team had. And so they also had some extras, in case somebody's computer melted down or something. And she kept a spreadsheet with the numbers in it. And when a certain category would fall under a certain number, it would automatically be formatted to catch her eye so that she would realize she needed to take action. Those types of things. I've also seen people with sales data who want to know when or who sold the most in a certain month or sold the least, all those types of things. And I've seen human resources people use it with performance data to see who the high or the low performers are. So there's all kinds of ways that you can use it. So let me show you what we're talking about. I am going to highlight my data. And you can highlight an entire spreadsheet, or you can highlight just part of it, whatever it is that will help make the point that you want to make. And that is the main point of this, is to keep track of things, to make a point. And if it doesn't really help you in your job, then you probably won't use it. I have seen some people who never use it for themselves, but when they give a file to their boss, they want to highlight certain things, and so they use conditional formatting for the file that they give their boss. So I've highlighted my data, and then on the home group of the ribbon, conditional formatting is here, sort of on the middle right side of the ribbon. So I'm going to click on the down arrow, and there are multiple categories here. There's highlight cell rules, there's top and bottom rules, and those are the first two. I'll cover the next three later. So highlight cell rules are basically where you set up a criterion, or several even if you want, and then you match it to these categories. Greater than, do you want to highlight all the cells that are greater than a certain amount, less than a certain amount, between two amounts, equal to a specific number, text that contains. So if there's a specific string that you're looking for, you can use this for that. Date occurring and duplicate values. So all of those. Now, the ones that I've seen used the most are these first four: greater than, less than, between, or equal to. So let's say in my sales data, I want to see everyone who made $5,000 or more in the sales of a certain month. I'm going to click on greater than, and I'm going to type in 4,999 because I want 5,000 or more. And then that's a good thing. So I'm going to fill it with green. And you can already see it happening on my spreadsheet behind this dialog box. And I'm going to click OK. So you can see now that everything 4,999 over that number has been highlighted. And so it draws my eyes to it, and so it makes that point. Let's say I also want to highlight everyone who makes less than $2,000 a month. So I'm going to highlight some rules, less than this time, and under 2,000. So I'm going to type in 2,000, and I'm going to leave it with light red fill. and click OK. And then you can see in my data that all of those cells are highlighted and your eye is drawn to them and it's easier to find them. Now, one of the things to keep in mind is if I go back to conditional formatting and I choose, any of these, I can click on the down arrow where I choose the color. And let's say I want to get more complicated than these. I either have light red fill, yellow fill, green fill, light red fill, red text, red border, or I can go to custom format down here and I can make it whatever font size, bold, color, have it underlined, all kinds of different things. And I can set up whatever I want and it'll give me a preview here. So keep in mind, it doesn't have to be as simple as just red and green. You can set up whatever you want. Also, remember the first rule of formatting, as I've said in most of these formatting videos, you want as little formatting as possible that is intuitive, but that doesn't override your data, that makes your point. So you want just enough formatting to make your point, but you don't want to make it so colorful and busy that no one can figure out what the point is. Okay, does that make sense? Now, a couple of other things to keep in mind is that uh, there is the top and bottom rules. And what Excel will do is it will look at your data behind the scenes and say, okay, here's the top value and here's the bottom value. So if you want to say, give me the top 10 items, the top 10%, the bottom 10, the bottom 10%, it will automatically calculate that in the background and then highlight them for you. So, this is something that you can do as well. And keep in mind that when it says the top 10%, it actually isn't confined to just 10%. In this box, I can increase it from, to say the top 20% if I want to do that. I can go to the what am I doing? Top and bottom rules, top 10 items. It's not limited to 10. I could do the top 10, 15. If I have 2,000 lines of data, I may want the top 125 items. So it's totally customizable in terms of both the number, the percent, and the formatting. So just keep that in mind that they give you a lot more capability than it may look like on the surface if you're just looking at the categories here. Okay, so does that make sense? I'm going to let you play with some of these and to see if they might be what you want. Most of the people who have used these options, in my experience, have used the greater than and less than. I don't know why, just I guess that often organizations have a cutoff number and they want to know what is above or below that. So, but you can use any one of the options that you want. Now, I'm going to clear my data and notice that I can click on this conditional formatting, and down at the bottom, there is an option for clear rules. And since I have my data highlighted still, I can go to clear rules from selected cells, and it will do that. So if I only had part of my data that I wanted to remove the rules from, I could highlight that and it would leave the rest. Or the other option was to just clear the data from the entire sheet. Okay, let me show you some more options. So conditional formatting, the rest of these will automatically apply some more specialized formatting to your cells, and it will automatically calculate what it needs to in the background. So the data bars will fill your cells based on however whatever percentage that cell is of the highest value. So I have gradient fills and I have solid fills. So it just depends on how much you wanted to overlay your data. I like gradient fills personally, and so I'm going to choose blue. That's fine. Now notice all of my cells have bars in them that indicate how much of a percentage that cell is of the highest value. So it can show you your highest performing cells or lowest performing cells very easily just by the length of the bar. So that is one option that you have. Let me come down here to clear rules, and I'm going to clear from the entire sheet automatically. Now let's say that I just want to highlight these cells for whatever reason. Those are the data that I'm looking at. I can click on conditional formatting, and I can go to color scales. Now what color scales do is it gives you different choices of colors that you can enact. And what it will do is it will make the top values the color of the top color, and the average values the color of the medium or the second color, and then the the lower numbers will be assigned the color of the last color. So in this case, let me choose green, yellow, and red. Actually, let me do red, yellow, and green. And what it will do is the top values, in this case, 12,799 is solid red. And then there are various shades of orange that are darker for the higher numbers and lower for the lower numbers, but these are all above average numbers. The average numbers, in whatever range that is, are in yellow, and then the lower numbers are in green. And in both those cases, the darker the number, the higher that number is in that particular range of cells. So basically, the darkest red ones are the highest, the darkest yellow ones are the highest average numbers, and the darkest greens are the lowest. Okay, does that make sense? I hope so. And then finally, I can highlight these and go to conditional formatting and go to icon sets. And in this case, I'm going to choose check marks in a green circle, exclamation points in a yellow circle, and X's in a red circle. And the green are the high values, the yellow are the average values, and the red are the low values. And so again, this gives you a really quick way of looking at your data and seeing what's high, average, and low. So not as many people, in my experience, use these, but I can see how they would be really kind of useful. And Excel will use the average of the numbers to determine what color things are. So it's an automated process. Now, if you want to control the process, then you may not want to use these, and you may want to go back to the greater than, less than, those types of things. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to clear my data again. I'm just going to go to clear rules and clear rules from entire sheet, and I'm back to normal. Okay, I am hoping that you are thinking of some ways that you can use this functionality in your spreadsheets in a way that would actually be useful to you. It's not just pretty, it should be useful. And so hopefully you can think of some ways that they might be useful. If you can't, don't use it. It's not for you. Okay, I hope to see you in my next video, which will be about more automated ways that Excel gives you to format your data quickly and more easily. And I hope to see you then. Have a good day.